Howdy y'all, this is Taylor Ursula of That's So Pisces, and it's time to talk about our first quarter moon in Sagittarius. Let's dive in. This is the first of two lunations that are going to be ruled by a Jupiter on the precipice of retrograde. Seeing that these lunations, both this Sagittarius first quarter moon as well as next week's Pisces full moon, are in very big, expansive, big picture signs, we might feel a lot coming up in the next couple weeks. We might be thinking about a lot of possibilities. We may be reflecting on the Jupiterian journey we've been on with Jupiter in Taurus for the past few months. And we may feel ourselves wanting to kind of think big, zoom out, and get an idea of what the kind of big picture vibe is that's going on. With that in mind, know too that what's coming up at these moons may be more questions than answers, and the answers we seek may call us within and into that reflective practice that I mentioned a moment ago. So at this first quarter moon, Mercury has just stationed retrograde the day before, which adds to that sense of questioning we may have as we enter these lunations coming up. This is also the first full day of Virgo season, so really adding to that desire to have answers. We've just gotten into Virgo season. We want to know the facts. We want to get the information. We want to be right about things. We want to know what we're doing, okay? We don't like to go into Virgo season not having a plan. So that adds further to that feeling of what are we actually doing? What is the big picture? What is this all adding up to? Especially because Mercury, now retrograde, is ruling the sun that has just entered Virgo. This first quarter moon squares Saturn in the early degrees, who is still retrograde and still making us question what we've signed up for, whether or not this is really what we wanted, or if this is going to add up to those big picture visions the way we thought it would. Saturn's just throwing wrenches in everything right now, okay? Between the oppositions we've had to Saturn from Virgo, which the sun will enter soon, and all the squares we've had, it's just been a lot, okay? It's been a lot of no from Saturn. So know that there may be feelings of limitation, feelings of melancholy at this time if we don't know the answers, which many of us still don't have all the answers that we want, whatever that looks like. But a lot of things at this time are up in the air, and this Saturn square may reflect the tension that we're feeling. Again, Sagittarius being a big picture sign, Pisces being a big picture sign, they both are really interested and invested in thinking about all that is possible. And so there may be optimism that wants to be born at this Sagittarius new moon that meets resistance or doubt in Saturn that we need to figure out how to reconcile now. Something that helps us at this first quarter moon is a trine between Mars and Pluto. Pluto is retrograde at 28 degrees of Capricorn currently. Mars is wrapping things up in Virgo, where it's been for the past several weeks. And this trine to Pluto helps us further integrate into some power that we're developing. What has Mars been up to that has been helping us grow stronger? Remembering that Mars is ruling the North Node in Aries. What has Mars been working on, getting into the nitty gritty of, really getting practiced, getting routinized, right? So what has Mars been doing for you in your chart? And where is Pluto revealing something deeper within this capacity or skill or strength that we've developed in this time? In this trine, we're able to see and become aware of and hopefully begin to use consciously some of what Pluto has been unearthing at these last degrees of Capricorn. So even if we are facing feelings of doubt or real doubt, right? Real or perceived doubt, real or perceived obstacles, real or perceived limitations or blockages now, whether they're emotional, mental, physical, right? If that is something that's coming up for us now, know that there is something else beneath the surface that's becoming conscious that we are building into our repertoire now, that we are able to use to our benefit at this time. A power, a skill, something that's helping us gain an edge, perhaps. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some cards. We'll see what we started at the Leo new moon and how it's progressing here at this Sagittarius first quarter moon. See you in a second. Okay, we've got our Leo new moon spread laid out before us. If you missed the Leo new moon pull, go ahead and check out the video linked here. Take a look at what we pulled there and some of the narratives that we opened up, and then meet us back here and we will pull for the Sagittarius first quarter moon. Okay, so let's take a look at this first quarter moon. We're asking some questions. We are asking about the energy that is accumulating now. We are looking at doubts and complications that arise with this energy as it accumulates. We're looking at gifts that we can work with regarding this energy. And lastly, we are looking at lessons that we can make sense of as we approach the full moon. We're humans, we need some logic. Help us make it make sense. Okay. And for those who are enjoying these prompts, who are enjoying these pulls, if you are interested in practicing them for yourself, I actually have a free PDF that contains all of these moon phase pulls, and you can find that on my retail website, which is priestessbaby.com. I'll put that in the comments for you. I mean, in the text box for you. Alrighty, so I would love to see y'all pulling along with us. And, you know, outside of the collective pull, I'd love to hear a little bit about maybe what you pull for yourself at this first quarter moon phase. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Okay. Energy accumulating now. Doubts and complications that arise. Gifts that we can work with. Lessons we can make sense of. Energy accumulating now. Well, hot dog. Who doesn't love to see the high priestess? Am I right? Okay. Well, thank goodness. Turns out that having none of the logical facts in front of us, turns out that not knowing anything about the direction we're moving in is really helping to deepen and strengthen our sense of intuition. Cool. Thank goodness. So we all love the high priestess, all right? And I love thinking about how we are in a bigger major arcana chapter, right? So this is not just for this month, which makes so much sense, right? We've been talking about all these retrogrades that we're in. We've been talking about all these things that we don't know. We've been talking about how Virgo season is ruled by Mercury newly stationed retrograde. So this is indicative of being connected to something that is larger than this very moment. Of course it is, because something's being rerouted, right? We talked about all of that Uranian energy at the Leo new moon and how it was shocking us onto a new path. We had the Nine of Swords show up in that spread, talking about like what the cycle might look like as it unfolds. And we talked about how, of course, we don't know where we're going. And of course, there's anxiety that comes with that. So it's really lovely to see something deeper being awakened now, knowing that beyond the anxiety that we are experiencing, which is so natural and so normal when we do not know what we are working toward, that there's some other instincts more deeply within us that are being catalyzed, that are being strengthened at this time. Okay, so doubts and complications that arise with this energy. The Two of Cups. How do I connect with people? We've been talking about how Venus retrograde has been ruining everyone's relationships. If you're still in your relationship, if you're not one of the many couples that have split during this Venus retrograde, then I imagine there has been some sort of relational shift happening in those partnerships. And outside of any kind of romantic partnerships, we are absolutely relating to people in different ways now. All that Uranian energy, that Leo new moon squaring Uranus, the sun squaring Uranus in that lunation, Venus squaring Uranus right around the Taurus third quarter moon that we had. All of this Uranian lightning bolt energy has been shaking us up and changing who we are as people, right? Our intuition is being ignited and deepened in some way. And so, absolutely, we're confused right now about how we're showing up with others. Let's bring in the Libra South Node and talk about how it's been pulling us out of falseness, whatever that looks like for us. It's been pulling us out of people pleasing. It's been pulling us out of saying yes when we don't mean it. It's been forcing us to take a look at, right? It's not energetic. It's not a planet, so it's not giving us anything where it is. It's bringing things to the surface and just getting us to look at them and to start understanding what kind of patterns we're engaged with here. So we're uncertain about, oh, my intuition is deepening. I still don't know where I'm going. Everything is retrograde. How are these connections going? I don't know if I'm coming across the way I want to. I don't know if someone's okay with this boundary. I don't know if someone's going to accept the new me. The Libra South Node says I shouldn't care. What do I do with all of this information? It's a lot. Gifts that we can work with regarding this energy. Justice. Okay, so Venus strikes again. All right, so talking about that Libra South Node, okay, gifts that we can work with regarding this energy. I'm going to go ahead and say, since we've been talking about the Libra South Node and how it's forcing us to pay attention to those patterns, we need to set those patterns right. We can't control how others are going to receive us. Everyone's in their stuff right now, trying to work it out, right? So we can't really we can never be in control of how people respond to us. And maybe that's part of this justice lesson. I have a Libra South Node myself. And so this is a lifelong lesson of, wait, I can't make you like me. I can't make you accept me. I can't contort myself to match you so that you will accept me. I have to set things right and act the way that I am innately called to as a person, especially with this intuitive prowess that's developing right now. I need to be able to set right whatever dynamic I need to at this time, regardless of what I want these connections to look like, who I want to be connecting with. Okay, so all right, 2 major cards, right? This is some big stuff that we're in right now. It's not a first quarter moon for nothing, right? We got squares, we got tension. Lessons that we are able to make sense of as we approach the full moon. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, it's just about not being fake, right? We've seen the 7 of Swords show up a lot lately. We've talked about what's not for us. This is basically what we've outlined here. The Libra South Node is trying to tell us, don't go there, or you are not that, or stop trying to get away with being something that doesn't feel natural to you. Stop trying to fit into a space that isn't for you, that doesn't want you to be who you are, right? This whole through line we've talked about is, I got to be me and I got to live my life. I mentioned in the Virgo predictions and polls video that Mars is entering Libra on Sunday the 27th, and from there it will be able to see both the South Node and the North Node that it is ruling. It's ruling the North Node in Aries, okay? And so this whole time from Virgo, we haven't been able to see what it's all adding up to. And at this point, Mars moving into Libra is ready to take action, is ready to say, oh, these are all the hoops I've been having to jump through. These are all of the contorted forms I've been taking in order to have these connections in a way that I feel I need to have them, in order to control my interactions the way I think I need to control them in order to be okay. It's time to let that go. It's time to let go of whatever we're showing up as that is not real for us, or that we are seeing the South Node is causing us problems, causing us tension, not allowing us to listen to this intuition and our deep, deep knowing. It takes so much time to deeply know ourselves, and we aren't given that time. And so a lot of what we're doing right now is reparative work. We are giving ourselves time to really know what's happening in here so that we can make things right, so that we can show up as ourselves and really attract the kind of partnerships, friendly, business, romantic, whatever, that actually serve us the way we are, not whoever we are in this card. Okay. Wowzers! All right, just a casual Sagittarius first quarter moon, Jupiter stationing retrograde and going, Venus has been informing me of all of these updates that she's been going through while in retrograde, and it's time for me to download those upgrades because I'm being ruled by Venus. And so, here we are. All right. Jupiter on its best day is definitely about like morals and kind of stepping into the role that we are called to play and kind of being as integral as we can about that, bringing integrity to that. Jupiter can absolutely lose the through line and lose sight of the integrity, as we know. But as we're kind of reframing those Jupiterian influences with Jupiter stationing retrograde soon, we're definitely reframing kind of what it is to be in leadership, what it is to be stepping into roles like that, and what it is to take on that responsibility. It's responsibility, right? So, okay, let me know how this lands for you. Can't wait to talk about the Pisces full moon next week, and I hope to see you there. If you enjoyed this, please like it, please share, please subscribe, and see you next week.